Hey folks, this is the Volkswagen ID Buzz. Check it out, it's beautiful. It's the electric microbus from Volkswagen. So we're gonna walk around and give you a quick tour and see there's no radiator grille really, just these openings for all the sensors and of course the cooling system for the batteries and the motors. And don't let the size of the wheels fool you. These are large wheels, so this van doesn't look as small in person as it is in photos. You were going to get sliding doors, of course, electric on both sides. You can see the interior a little bit here. If you want, you can go in there, give them a quick look at it. And we'll show you the front from the driver's side in a second, but you get a feel for things. And then this is the European model, so it's a short wheelbase. In the US, we're going to get a long wheelbase. And this is a rear-wheel drive model. We're going to get an all-wheel drive option as well. Here's the charging port. And you can see, standard US CCS charging. You can see the aero treatment here, the sharp edges, so you get better wind. Turbulence handling. The cool big Volkswagen logos here. LED tail lights. I really love this detail right here. It's pretty awesome. Reminds us of the old vans. And then if you pull back and give us a overall view here, we've got the inside. And if you want to get in there and have a look, this is pretty cool. You got a 12-inch touchscreen, that's optional. And you can see the controls are very similar to the ID series of cars, ID4, ID3, because it's based on the same platform. Like that Easter egg right here in the door. There's a bunch of Easter eggs everywhere. So let's get back to the front. I'll give you my thoughts. I am very excited about this van because I own a Volkswagen camper van. And so they're going to make a camper version of this that's going to finally come back to the US. So there you go. ID Buzz from Volkswagen. Nice modern headlights, of course. Hey folks, we're on board the VW ID Buzz, the electric microbus. It's the same electric platform as the ID3 and ID4. So, you get to see the inside this time. We showed you the outside, the tour. And yeah, this is pretty awesome. This is 12-inch screen. This is an option. There's a 10-inch screen by default. And as you can see, if you've seen the ID4, for example, a lot of the interior controls are very similar. Of course, there's controls for the sliding doors down here. And, there's a lot more space. This is a lot wider. But, like all EVs, it's a dedicated platform with a big battery pack under the floor, low center of gravity, and you get a ton of space. They've stretched the wheels to the ends, very short overhangs, and as a result, look at how much space we have in here. I mean, I'm leaning forward and I can't reach half the dashboard. So you got some open pore wood here. Ooh, acceleration! So this is a rear-wheel drive model with about 200 horsepower. There will be an all-wheel drive model because obviously the ID3 and ID4 have that as well. And that's a little more oomphy. I've driven the ID4 with all-wheel drive and it's pretty fast. So personally, I think I would opt for that because in the US here, we're obsessed with power. But this will be very torquey, obviously, because it's electric. This is going to be perfectly adequate, this rear-wheel drive model for most people as well. So you get options. And as you can see, it's very nicely outfitted, very well made. This center console here can be completely removed. There's a bottle holder in the very front that you can open up. I can't show you because you're behind me, but there's cup holders here that can be removed. There you go, stowed away. So if you want to remove this console to be able to get in and out like you do in our camper van, you can do that. You can also lift up these captain's armrests. So, pretty much standard stuff. We haven't really had a Volkswagen van in the US since the Eurovan, which is the T4 Transporter version 4. And so there's the T5 and T6 in Europe since then. They've announced a T7, which will have a hybrid drivetrain. But this is essentially a completely separate thing. Same kind of generational timeline as the T7, but it's a separate thing. And this is the microbus, the van from Volkswagen if you want. This is the short wheelbase version for Europe. We'll get a long wheelbase version in the US 3 rows of seating for people who want that. The European market also gets a cargo van. We're not going to get that because chicken tax. Look it up on Google if you don't know what that is. And then California camper, which I assume will be based on the long wheelbase, is supposed to be coming to North America. So this is the first time we're going to get essentially a Westie from Volkswagen since the last one they did, which was the 2002 Eurovan Transporter 4 long wheelbase, but that was adapted into a camper by Winnebago. It wasn't a Westphalia. There was a Weekender, which didn't have a full camper set up inside, and that was obviously made by Westphalia with a pop top and sold in the US, but hopefully we get that as well for those of you who don't want a kitchen. But do you want to look behind us, Theo? Check out the rest of the space in here. It's pretty amazing. And of course, you know, this is a modern car. This is 2022. This car is going to have ADAS, Advanced Driver Assistance System. So you're going to have adaptive cruise control with lane keeping, very much like what Tesla calls autopilot. You're going to get, you know, eventually some sort of self-driving functionality. That's probably going to come in a few years. But, you know, all the sensors are there. There's a camera system here at the bottom of the windshield. There's cameras on the mirrors. There's cameras in the back. There's ultrasonic sensors, a radar sensor. It's got all the tech, right? You can see this from the big display here. It's got Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Again, this is very much like the ID series of EVs from Volkswagen. And as you can see, even the instrument cluster is similar. And you got the stock for the gears has been relocated a little further down, but same steering wheel, capacitive controls everywhere, which I'm not a big fan of. But, you know, I think this is exciting. I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on one and reviewing it. Hopefully the camper, because that's what I have right now. And yeah, stay tuned. We'll have more content soon on the channel. This is just a kind of a sneak peek. We're here in Austin for South by Southwest, in case you're wondering. So yeah, we'll be back soon. Cheers, everybody.